saying I put that in a question. This isn't a statement from me. This is not a statement. I'm not saying she is or she isn't. But I have seen some things that rhyme with previous suspected industry plants. And I'm seeing some things, and so I want to talk about it. I want to have a conversation about this. What is an industry plant? What to look out for, and does she fit? I don't know. I haven't. Me personally, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna end with the begin. I'm gonna begin with the ending. My conclusion is I don't have a conclusion. You know, I appreciate the sister's artistry. I like her uniqueness. She's a very unique artist. You know, she's a very courageous artist. I like some of the things that she's doing. I don't necessarily. I've listened to mostly all of her music. There's no particular song that stands out to me. Something that's my style. But I also understand that, you know, I'm not the end all be all of sound. As long as people like it, that's good. And I like it. It's just nothing that really stands out that like I roll with like that personally. But that doesn't mean that she ain't got some banging ass music. I put it like this. I haven't heard any bad music from her. I have not heard any bad music from her. So I want to start off by saying that. And then we're going to get into it. And then we're going to get into it, all right? Because I'm going to talk about this from a few different angles. Y'all know me. I like to talk about things from different angles, you know, and then it's good to ask questions, you know. Salute, appreciate that, Nada 86. Salute to Juan, salute to everyone in the chat. Appreciate that. You know, we like to ask questions, because let me tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all the same thing I told myself when I stopped going to church. And when I stopped being there was a time in my life 20 years ago where I was a hardcore Christian. Come to church and Jesus saves, motherfucker. When I started to change and grow out of that started with a simple question. If what I believe in is worth believing in, it should stand up to question. And that's what I believe with anything, whether it be religion, whether it be a social issue, what I believe about somebody inherently, whatever my beliefs are, if they're worth believing in, they're going to stand to question. Because questioning doesn't mean you're wrong. Questioning is questioning the integrity of something. Like when I used to do loans and mortgage, we would do construction loans, and I remember doing some construction loans in Malibu and on cliff sides, and you gotta do what's called a phase 1 and a phase 2. Phase 1 checks the if the ground is contaminated or not, and what kind of contaminations are in the ground. Phase 2 is a deeper test, but it also tests the structural integrity. They dig down, if it's a cliffside dwelling in LA and Malibu and like wherever you are, they like to dig down to the bedrock and then build caissons that are tied to the bedrock on up. And as they're building these caissons, you know, you do things you stress test the caissons and you question them. You put them under testing. Same thing with your car. When your car is being manufactured in Detroit or Mexico, wherever it's being manufactured, when they put the car together, they run all kind of water over it. They stress test it, you know. Everything goes through a stress test. That's questioning. And what makes it through that is the real deal. So questioning is not a final judgment. I want to make that very clear, all right? I want to make that very clear. It's let's see what we have in front of us and let's ask ourselves, does this check out? And here's the reason why we're having this discussion today. The reason why we're having this discussion is because, as we know, this industry is really good for putting some bullshit out there on us. You know, we done lived through the Cardi B's. We done lived through the Alicia Keyses. We done lived, and they come in all. They aren't always ratchet. You know, sometimes they actually put out pretty good music. You know, and only to find out that artist wasn't who we thought they were. You know, and when I say these things, you know, when I ask it, because people tend to buy into celebrities, and so we want to know, okay, if you buy into a celebrity, is this somebody who in 4 years is gonna be saying all kind of weird sexual deviancy and telling you to vote for this party? You know, is this someone that they're grooming an audience for to later on come back and sell us some political bullshit? Hold on, Rocky at the door. Come on, Rocky. Rocky came to kick it. You want to kick it, Rocky? You want to kick it, baby boy? You want to kick it, baby boy? Rocky heard me talking. He was like, come on. He was scratching at the door and was like, come on, I want to come in here. Tell the people what's up, Rocky. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. All right. Now, don't be knocking on a goddamn door in 5 minutes saying you want to leave. All right. So we got to ask these questions. Is this somebody who later on is going to be coming up on some bullshit, you know, once we bought into them? Or is this an independent, free-thinking person that she displays herself to be? Let's ask ourselves this. Okay? So now let's get into it. But before I get into it, welcome, chat. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for coming in here. You know, hit the like button while you in here. You see Intellectual Power pinned at the top. 10% off with the product code D Brown, Intellectual Power. Also, we got Peace Pads, and my man Rizza Islam has an event coming up May 3rd here in Los Angeles, in Compton, California. Actually, free event on reproductive health. So I want everybody to join. All right? And then go to blisscapsules.com. That one product code is Dewan B. See, Intellectual Power product code is D Brown. At Bliss Capsules is Dewan B. You buy 2 of these hoes and get 1 of them for free. All right, get that right there. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. And Rocky back here having a good time. Nigga says Rocky industry plant. That's a good question. It's a good question. But so let's get into it. First off, why are we having this conversation? We're having this conversation because when it comes to industry plants, this is my concern. Whenever we see people get rewarded right away, you know, a lot of awards right away, and get black artists, because generally black people who speak something positive don't get awarded right away. They got to show a little bit of a pattern. And then maybe that second, third time, they may get some recognition, maybe, if at all. So it's a black woman doing things the right way. We generally know America does not like black women who do things the right way, who make good music and things like that. That's usually ignored. Generally, they ignore the black women and the black folks who do that, who make positive music. So that's an antenna, not saying it's an indictment. It's not an indictment. It's just something that makes you raise awareness. And for me personally, that wasn't enough for me to even have this thought. Like, sometimes some people are just dope. Then I look at how she came in. She came in through TDE. TDE is a very reputable label. TDE has done a great job of bringing in authentic artists. So when I saw she came in through TDE, that made me pull back my suspicions, because I like TDE as a label, from Ab-Soul, and that's where Kendrick started. You know, when you TDE makes pretty good signings. So that made me be like, And then let me give you another angle. Most industry plants don't know that they're an industry plant. Can we talk about that for a second? Just because somebody is an industry plant, that don't mean they done had some meeting with some guys behind closed doors and said, your assignment and your duty is to come into the music industry and spread debauchery and bullshit. It don't happen that way. Most of these people are extremely unaware why they are where they are. You know? But the industry who understands personality types, they know cards just like I know cards. And they know astrology, and they study people's history. They study everything about people. And so if there's a particular agenda they're pushing, they can identify who to choose to push said agenda without that person even knowing they're pushing an agenda. Let's make that very clear. Every person that's out here doing this stuff, at the end of the day, they know who to pick to push whatever agenda they want to push. And generally, what they do is they're looking at the person's value system. And whatever your value system is what you're going to push. You got 10 artists, 7 are well-adjusted, 3 got value systems that are like way off. The industry will choose one of those 3 with the value systems that are kind of like, questionable. Because at the end of the day, you only gonna be you, right? I don't have to, as an industry, hire somebody and change them. When it comes to black folks in artistry, our artistry is a dime a dozen. You could go into some families and find 7 dope rappers and 7 dope singers just in one family in Black America. Like, artistry to us that's like wet and water. They go together. It's like, yeah. So you can get someone extremely talented, but if I understand that you've had an issue with men or you have some other proclivities that are kind of off, when I put a mic in front of your face, you're going to probably be off and say something off. Let me give you an example what I'm talking about. This is when I started to really be like, okay, is she an industry plant? It was this right here from a couple weeks ago. Oh no, not that was yesterday's show. It was this right here, this show. When I heard this made me be like, Listen to this.
This is a huge red flag for me.
They're playing like some red flag game. Let's play for the
Okay. What's my biggest dating red flag?
Is it being on the DL?
Before I start going, can y'all hear? Because I've been having some audio problems lately. Last thing I want to do is hit play and y'all don't hear shit. Let me know if y'all can hear before I keep going. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Okay, cool. Y'all can hear? Okay, cool. All right, about to start. What's up, Star? All right. Cool.
Okay. What's my biggest dating red flag?
Is it being on the DL?
You're on the right track. I have my answer.
Is it close enough?
Are you want to guess one more time? What would be a red flag for me?
Bad music taste?
Oh, that is a good one.
Because that's one for me.
That is a good one.
Like,
But that's
what
not
do you
what I
mean
put.
you don't listen to Michael Jackson? But okay.
Okay. This is a huge red flag for me.
All right. You know what's so crazy? I was going to say men.
I mean, strike one. You're a man.
Yeah.
And you're heterosexual.
Yeah. I was going to say, so technically, because my mind was already there, I don't think I deserve to eat a wing.
I think you do, friend. Okay. This is a huge red flag for me.
All right.
A huge red flag for her is a straight man. This whole situation here is a huge red flag for me. All that's going on right now. You got the two women dressed like boys. She had a necktie with shoulder pads.
You know what's so crazy? I was going to say men.
Braids. Like, this whole situation is a red flag for me. All of it. The aesthetic, the conversation.
I mean, strike one. You're a man.
Yeah.
And you're heterosexual.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys can understand why this is a red flag. We understand the agenda the liberal side has been pushing for since Obama's been in office. God damn it, Rocky, you gotta hold on. Go, nigga, go. Hold on. There you go. Get your ass out of here, nigga. All right. This nigga Rocky come to kick it now. He out of here. Anyway. But the main reason why it's a red flag is we see what the liberals have been pushing for a while now. Xing the man out of the household. And they've been pushing the black man, but no, let's tell the honest to God truth. They've been pushing all men. You hear white dudes talking about the same shit. You listen to these white dudes talk, they have the same issue. The straight white men. The liberal agenda has been really going at straight men. Now the spearhead has been at the black man because America spearheads everything at black people. But what do I always say? What's my famous quote? Black people in America are always only the beta test. We are the beta test. They perfect their corruption on us. Then they export it to the rest of the world. And then they bring it right back home to white people. That's how America works. America hates white people too. Unless you're the real white. Unless you like what Dick Gregory said, unless you're the real white man. And you ain't never met a real white person. Remember Dick Gregory would say that? The real white folks, none of us know who they are. We don't know them. They up there somewhere. But these day-to-day white folks that we see, it comes to them too. But it starts on us. But we understand that they've been pushing this agenda for a while. And just because Trump is in office don't mean they're going to stop this bullshit. And so when you get, and this might be how she really feels. I'm sure this is probably how she really feels. She's not acting. And when the industry tabs someone to get greater access to their airwaves, oftentimes, not all the time, not all of the time, but oftentimes, there's something to come along with it. So you plant somebody like Drake in. Somebody who, although extremely talented, for real, down to the bone, to the nitty gritty fuck nigga. It don't get no more fuckboy island than Drake. You want to raise a generation of fuckboys? Turn on some Drake. Every fuckboy that I know likes Drake. Not saying, I didn't say everybody that likes Drake is a fuckboy, but every fuckboy that I know likes Drake. Do y'all understand the difference? You want to raise a certain generation? You plant these people in here. You plant in a Jay-Z. You want black folks to be on some hoes and clothes and some flashy pretty boy, not man of substance bullshit. You give them Puffy and you give them JD. Money ain't a motherfucking thing. I mean, Jay-Z. Well, JD, that probably was a 40 and slip. Because, yeah, Jermaine, that probably was a 40 and slip. Because he didn't really do much better. But I'm not going to focus on him. You want to raise a generation of fuck niggas that only care about hoes, clothes, fashion, and bullshit, and not how we feel about the greater society? Put Jay-Z at number one. Plant. You want to kill off Neo Soul? Early 90s, Neo Soul was really a thing. It was really soul music. I hate the term Neo Soul, but I just use it as an operative term. It's really just classic soul music. Neo Soul is just basically soul music as recorded in the 90s and the early 2000s. And then in that category, they always want to put Miseducation and Lauryn Hill in hip hop. Yeah, she did rap on a couple verses, but Miseducation and Lauryn Hill was a true Neo Soul quote unquote album. It fit right in the vein with Erykah Badu, On and On. It fit right in the vein with Who is Jill Scott. It fit right in the vein with Brown Sugar. That's really what... Now, hip-hop tries to take it because she rapped on it. So hip-hop tries to take it. But she spent 90% of that album singing. That was a rhythm and blues soul album. See, that's what they do. When something that's all the way black pops off, they call it pop. They don't call Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. They don't call that funk. Oh, it's pop. Nah, nigga. Billie Jean is funk. Do 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 do. That eighth note walk by Louis Johnson, nigga. That's funk. Wah Watson on guitar. What? But when it gets really big, they other it. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was a neo soul album, quote unquote. Live music, live instrumentation, real singing, doo-wop in the background. That was neo soul all the way. So what happens when the shit pops off that 2000 hit? You got Erykah Badu's second album, with Bag Lady. I'm drawing a blank to the album. 80, 2000. What's the name of the album? Penitentiary Philosophy. I'm naming names on the album and not naming Mama's Gun. Music Soul Child. Drop. Now we got this whole explosion. Anthony Hamilton coming out. You got Raheem Devine. You got this whole sound. So what do you do to quell this sound? You give us John Legend and Alicia Keys. That's what you do. They come in sounding like the neo soul sound. They come in sounding like it. John Legend come out with this. This is my shit when it dropped. But that came into is coming in to step on the shoes of what they had going on the neo soul side. Then they came out with this Alicia Keys.
I keep on falling.
It sounds good. It sounds good, but it don't have that. If you know what I mean. And that came out because Jill Scott had that, you know, because this came out right here. When this shit dropped, this the real deal right here. Hit them strings, nigga. That's the real deal. So they had to come out with something that sounded adjacent to it. And so when Alicia Keys dropped, when John Legend dropped, Alicia Keys got all the fucking awards and all the attention. And within a couple years, that whole burgeoning sound that they tried to other as neo soul that was poised to take over radio play R&B because it was better. What Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Music Soul Child, what they was doing quality-wise was far better than what Usher was doing. Quality-wise, it was far better than what Beyonce was doing quality-wise. We're just talking about quality and how the music was structured and put together. We're talking about depth of information, and people liked it. And it wasn't something that was played 15 times an hour. People played that shit. That shit got radio play because people wanted it. And they didn't get the 5 times an hour radio play that Beyonce and Alicia Keys got. Or at the time, Destiny's Child. So when Alicia Keys comes out, when John Legend comes out, somehow those two niggas survive it. And by 2004, basically everybody that was in the neo soul sound is gone. So now we're at a point with Doechii. People are starting to want real music again. You know, Kendrick really blew the lid off this motherfucker, you know? You see hip hop is losing its place in a lot of ways. Before Kendrick had his last year, you know, a lot of music is starting, people are starting to decentralize their sound and go to these different sounds. And people, for the most part, even the young folks, they want more than just tick, 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 boom. They want some real music. Now you got somebody who's talking about the most evil, the person that's a red flag, the person that there's something wrong with, a very good artist that impressionable children listen to. You got that person now saying that straight men are a problem. And that's what got me asking the question. Do you bring in this artist that's really good at what, she's dope at what she does, but is she getting this level of access, this level of attention? Because they plan on pulling the okie doke in a few years. We gotta ask this question. Because once Neo Soul was killed out, John Legend go into being a fake ass Lionel Richie trying to cross over and sing something different. And Alicia Keys done just went away somewhere. Then she comes back in the Super Bowl cracking and missing notes. When in true life, if it was anybody at that piano, it should have been some guy, it should have been Jill Scott or somebody from that era over doing that live performance. But Usher, another one. How did Usher make it out of the 90s? The 90s, you have Joe Levert, Tevin Campbell. Hell, Cisco was better than goddamn Usher. Remember late 90s? You had Genuine, Usher, Cisco. What? None of them. As a matter of fact, I thought Genuine, when Pony came out, had kind of put himself up, but then Cisco, Thong Song, Usher couldn't box through that. Even on the mainstream side. How did he become the biggest slice of the pie when He was around in the 90s and in the early 2000s, and he couldn't clearly beat none of them niggas. Yeah, you had Mario at that time. There was a lot of great dancers back then. Omarion was a great dancer. Cisco was a great dancer. Genuine was a great dancer. There was a lot of dancers back then. How did Usher make it through? Yeah, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. We got, how many we got here on YouTube? 500 on YouTube, only 180 likes. Man, come on, get the likes up to 300, please. We can get the likes up to 300 right now. But we got to ask these questions. What are they doing right here? What are we seeing right here? What's going on? And then when I saw this, and this is actually good, and I'm glad she won. I like seeing people win. But when Billboard magazine starts pushing black women, you generally got to watch out when these people are the ones pushing us. You got to watch out when we aren't the ones pushing them up. And it's because the industry itself is a corrupt thing. Very, very, very corrupt. And it plays the long con with us. The long game. How long y'all been thinking Drake was the real thing? Press the number one. Don't lie. If at one time in your life you thought Drake was the real thing, press the number one. Yeah, the way FBA Journal, the way Unsexy Red, the way she, cause remember she was the plant just 18 months ago. But that shit ain't working. Cardi B is just, Cardi B's the last woman to win. Remember, Cardi B also won Woman of the Year. Cardi B was the last one to win, last rapper woman to win Woman of the Year, Cardi B. But the Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Sexy Red, people ain't feeling that no more. So they got to change it up. Now again, I'm not saying Doechii is an industry player. I don't know. But what I am saying is to pay attention, pay close attention. If it weren't for that battle last year, people still be thinking Drake was the real deal. And I'm not mad at you if he did. I ain't tripping, because we all got, that's why we having these conversations. I want this channel to be the place that we have these conversations. I don't mind asking the hard questions. Because again, I think Doechii, because again, it's not about talent. It's not about talent. In the black community, talent is a dime a dozen. If you have anybody who's ever gone to a church with a choir of at least 30 people, fucking talent. Go to Sister Shirlene and listen to Sister Shirlene sing. She ain't never made a dime in her life off singing. Will sing a 20-time Grammy winner under the floor every time. Matter of fact, the best producers and arrangers are in church. You never heard their names. Your best arrangers and composers and producers, them motherfuckers is in church somewhere. Working a day job. Coming in at night and putting together some of the greatest music you'll ever hear in your goddamn life. So I don't want people coming in, man, but they talented. Yeah, okay, yeah. Everybody's talented. Of course you're talented. Next story. Everybody's fucking talented. Even Usher's talented. Now, can Usher be a top 5 alto in any church in America? No. In most churches, Usher's probably your 8th best alto. But in the record industry, he's the number one artist. That's how it works. And also, when it comes to somebody like Doechii with her good music, music has been bad and so monotonous for so long. It's been monotonous all through the future decade. Future, Chris Brown, auto-tune, plastic, simple beats, predictable music. Drake, just predictable as predictable can be. Like, it's been so stale for so long. It can be that with Doechii offering something different than this stale bullshit, the people are just willing to grasp to anything that sounds different than this monotonous bullshit. I don't know the answer. But what I am saying is pay attention. And here's why. And this is with and I say everything that I say with nothing but love and respect to Doechii herself. Nothing but respect to her. She hasn't done something so criminal that I'm like, man, fuck her. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Y'all do what y'all want to do. I ain't gonna argue with you. But the reason why I have this conversation and I'm saying this is this. When they get to talking these personal agenda stuff and giving a mic to do it, these people tend to speak for us, quote unquote. Even though we know they don't speak to us, according to the world, they speak for us. And we as a people got to get very clear with folks who are going to take that mantle. The same way it is with Stephen A. Smith. Remember what Stephen A. Smith said on my show yesterday? Man, I gotta watch where I walk. Yes. You represent us. Don't let these folks gas you up just because they give you a Grammy Award and some recognition. And this goes to Doechii, not just her, any artist out there, anybody who has a public profile. Don't let they shit go to your head. There's a certain responsibility that we all have when we go out there and we speak. Back in the 60s and the 70s, them artists was in all kind of stuff. We didn't know. They understood that they spoke for us. And whatever their personal thing was, the greater mission, the greater society was more important than personal points of views and personal things. We got to remember that. We got to know that. Let me see if I can find this part. There's a video I wanted to show y'all from that further states my point. Here it is. And so, like, I remember I've had conversations with, like, my father-in-law about different people. And he wouldn't tell me, like, certain things he still to this day won't tell me their names. But one time we was talking about, like, him working at Motown, he was like, man, if you guys only knew what was going on with these artists. But at the same time, people knew that when it came to the public, there's a certain responsibility because the brain remembers what it sees. It can't decipher. And when you're out there, there's a way to go. Let me show you an example of how when we put our stars out, back when we were responsible for putting our stars out, when we were the ones that pushed it out, there's a certain way we as the folks knew how to act. I want y'all to look at this video right here from Motown and how they had people in place to teach you how to act and be a lady. Look at this right here. Let me see if it's gonna work up here on this screen.
Grown kids.
No. Let me see here. Nah, I'd be too much to move. Hold on. Let me go here.
Grown kids.
What the hell? Right here. Here we go.
And
Turn it up.
of
Turn
them
your
were
radio
ghetto
up.
kids that came from single parent homes.
This is a documentary I was watching, and they're talking about how like a lot of your Motown artists, even back then, came from single parent homes. But listen to how they dealt with that when it came to how we were in public. Listen to this, but turn your shit up.
Grown kids. And most of them were ghetto kids that came from single parent homes, and didn't have all the cultural tactics that's needed. We decided to give it to them.
I gotta talk over that
They
part.
asked me to open up the finishing school there, Motown finishing school. Of course, the youngsters, they came from humble beginning, and some were rude and crude and from the street and the project. But with me, it isn't where you come from, it's where you're going. She taught.
That's Maxine Powell. Maxine Powell was the lady that was responsible for Motown's finishing school. She's the one that really taught Diana Ross and everybody how to put things together, how to be ladies in public, because we were so talking about, we understood at one point how we're perceived when we go out there. Listen to this.
Is where you're going.
She taught us how to be elegant, and that's what we wanted. It wasn't something, we weren't being taught something that we didn't want. We wanted to be better. We wanted to, aspire to be the best. She said, now ladies. Golly, we used to hate her then. She was the butt of a lot of jokes, I'll say that, because as young girls, we didn't take her seriously. But I did in my heart, and I applied everything she taught me. And I can't really do anything now without thinking of Mrs. Powell. If I sit, if I talk, if I walk, if I carry myself at all, Miss Powell is there.
Marvin Gaye said to me one day, Miss Powell, he called the finishing school the charm school. Miss Powell, I don't think I need a charm school, and I don't think I need any train. I said, Marvin, you don't need as much as some of the other artists, but you do sing with your eyes closed. And it gives the illusion that you're singing in your sleep. In number one places around the country, you have to have your eyes open. Then we could improve on your walk because you're leading with your shoulders and your head. Everything had to be done in a classy way. So if they were doing the shake or whatever, well, we didn't do it in a vulgar way. With Diana Ross and the Supremes, we worked on singing and expressing yourself, looking pleasant and with a smile, and maybe a gesture, and how to handle a mic, you see, so that the mic don't handle you. I don't want you ever to look forward, lean forward. You do not protrude the buttocks.
She said, you do not protrude the buttocks. You do not protrude the buttocks. But you see, there was a time where we understood what this imagery was. Now, everybody, I done heard a lot of stories about Marvin Gaye. A lot, from a lot of people who knew him, that I won't necessarily repeat, because it's not my business to repeat. This isn't a celebrity gossip channel. If I wanted to be a celebrity gossip channel, boy, I could be a celebrity gossip channel. Ooh, with the access to clubs and shit that I get in, ooh. But I'll never be that. I'll never be that. I got too much substance to give you niggas in some goddamn celebrity gossip. But for those who do celebrity gossip, salute to you, because I listen to celebrity gossip when I need my goddamn mind just to clear out. And we all need to puff on a J or do something to clear our mind and listen to something of substance. I'm not saying I'm better than people who do celebrity gossip. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying that's not my lane. So I want to be very clear. I salute to the people who do celebrity gossip. Y'all channels be dope as fuck too. So I don't even want to come off as no arrogant, slide punk like that. I ain't like that. I ain't like that. You know, everybody got their lane. That's just not my lane. But these people, there's a certain, when you're out there, everything. Remember there's a time. There's old saying, everything ain't for everybody. You know, and everything ain't for everybody to know. Remember, we used to, our grandparents. If you black and you know somebody named Sister Maxine, any lady named Sister Maxine, Geraldine, Sister Elba, Sister Alma gonna tell you, young lady, don't put your business in the streets. Your business is your business. Black folks, press the number 1 if you remember that old saying. Your business is your business. Press the number 1 if you remember that. Your business is your business. There's a reason for that. Your business is your business. Especially, and this is a call to all artists out there, because a lot of artists listen to me. What's up, Kendall? Y'all follow Hypnosis with Kendall. I love her work, man. She does God's work. Hypnosis with Kendall. She does God's work. Make sure y'all follow her. But there's a time, like there's a reason for that, especially as an artist. And for the artists that listen to me, your art is what makes you stand out. Like, we all have a reason for being here, you know? And there's some dope musicians, some dope singers. And your art, don't let nothing get in the way of your art. I'm going to tell you something, another thing that a conversation that I recently had with Mr. Carmichael, when we were talking about like when the Commodores would write a song, or when he would Lionel or Atlantic Star or whoever it was he was working with, producing at the time. He always said that when you write a song, you want it to be for everybody to jam. What you personally feel about it gets in the way of the art, which also gets in the way of your sales. And he was telling me of the story of the song Brick House. He said, when they wrote, he said, what is a brick house? This is a conversation we had about a month ago. He was like, think about the song Brick House. What is a brick house? She's a brick house. He said, if you black and live in the South, you're going to think this is a brick house. Every race, whether you white, Asian, Latino, they're going to ascribe the word brick house to whatever it is that they like. If it's a lesbian, they're going to ascribe brick house to a lesbian. If it's a gay guy, he's going to ascribe brick house to a gay guy. Brick house is just a general term. All those guys in the band can have their own opinion to what that is. But when it comes to a song, and when it comes to what you do out there, you put it in a way to where people can assign whatever they feel to it. Look at Kendrick. They not like us. That was a great fucking line. Who is they? They is whatever group I am, it's the group I don't like. That's why you see Persians dancing to it. That's why you see white people dancing to it, Indians, Latinos. Republicans are saying it about Democrats. Democrats are saying it about Republicans. You put it out there. Let the people decide for themselves what they is, what a brick house is. The industry is trying to see what the industry is doing to all my artists. This is a direct message to all my artists out there. The industry is trying to pull you into their agenda. Go ahead and say these things. Push these agendas. Push that. Yeah, matter of fact, we'll even give you Artist of the Year if you do it. But feel free. It's on the artist to resist. And just be an artist. Say what you got to say. But let your life be your life. Don't get pulled into these people's agendas. Have your own agenda. Make your bread. I ain't saying be an artist to be pure and no, I'm just doing it for the purity of music. Do it hard. Make your bread, but don't be used for an industry's agenda. Don't let them do that to you, because they will spit your ass up and chew you out like they will anybody else the minute they feel they're done with your usefulness. Don't let these people use you. Don't play into these agendas, artists. The best thing you can do, some advice that me and the homie, me and her, we talked about. She know who I'm talking about, who's listening. She always said, some of the best advice she's given to people is just shut up. Nobody cares. We've had that conversation plenty of times, and she knows exactly who she is. And it's a great conversation to have. Nobody cares. You will allow these people to use you for their agenda, and you'll alienate so many more people than you'll gain. You really will. Shut up, black people. Just enough. Everybody ain't got to know everything. Your business is your business. And don't allow an industry to divide a line between men, women, and children. Don't let the industry draw these dividing lines between men and women. That's an immediate no-no. I ain't with no dudes that's drawing a line between women, and I ain't letting no women that's drawing a dividing line between the men. Because when you start to draw those dividing lines, where do those lines draw through? They split the child. Now the children are left wondering, damn, mommy, men are that bad? Well, I'm a boy. Does that mean I'm bad? Damn, mommy, men are that bad? I'm a girl. Does that mean that I can only have a child or be with a man that's bad? Hey, mommy, hey, daddy, I'm a boy. You mean all women are bad? That mean all the women that I deal with, I can't trust them? Think about how that must feel for a 10-year-old boy to hear. I can't trust these women? My mommy's a woman. What do you mean I can't trust these women? Now, children aren't verbal enough to have these thoughts, to have these conversations with you. Children aren't verbal enough to have these conversations with you. But you better goddamn believe it's going on in their mind. And it's definitely going on subconsciously, if not consciously. Mommy, you mean boys are bad? That means I'm bad. Daddy, I mean, what? Like, think about that. When adults draw lines of division between the sexes, you're dividing the children. That line goes right down the middle of that child or of the children watching. And the children are always watching. The children are always watching. They could be playing with their Legos, but they watching. They could be playing Fortnite, but they watching. And so we cannot, at the same time, again, this is with love to Doechii. She hasn't done anything to offend me personally or had any offensive music that I've heard. You know, so this isn't about going at her. Just letting the young sister know when you say things like that, you're playing a part in the mental side of our children to believe that there's something inherently wrong with the other side. And ultimately, with yourself. Because as men and women, men, you still got the X and the Y chromosome. You still have woman in you. Women, you still have a masculine energy. We all have a masculine and a feminine energy, all of us. And what happens with a lot of people is, especially like when I put out them cards, when we put out a card, a feminine, some men are predisposed to a feminine way of being. And oftentimes, like a queen of clubs, like Doechii, she's a queen of clubs. A lot of men born under that card have a hard time living because they're so bought into societal stereotypes, they're afraid to tap into that feminine side. Tapping into the feminine side don't mean gay. It don't mean weird. It just means using that aspect of your nature. But you still a 100% straight man. The same way women have a masculine side that they can tap into to handle things, it still don't mean that they're gay. It just means that there's a masculine energy that they have to tap, that may dominate in certain areas more than the feminine energy. Because we're all both equally down the middle. But this gender divide, when a man has a feminine predisposition in certain ways, now got that boy thinking that he gay. Good telling the kids, you ever have thoughts? Well, maybe the boy cries a lot. And he's been told that, only girls cry. So now you're dealing with a 7-year-old boy that cries a lot, who's been told all of his life that only girls cry. And now you got the schools coming saying, hey, little Jimmy, you cry a lot. That could mean you have feelings towards. You see how this works? And then, I like that girl. I like that girl Doechii. I like her music. Oh, you mean being a straight man is a red flag? And it don't mean they'll make a decision right away. But all of this stuff gets cataloged into your subconscious. All of it. And then when you get to your puberty years, they start to express themselves. The puberty years are an expression of the ideals that have gone into the subconscious of the child, of the toddler. So we all, as adults, have a responsibility, knowing that the kids are listening. That's why I don't mind cussing around the goddamn kids. Because cussing is the least offensive thing they have to deal with out here. Cussing toughens them up, from my philosophy. You cuss in front of your goddamn kids, watch Eddie Murphy movies. If a kid gonna see some shit, let him be in front. Man, I used to sit on my dad's lap when he smoked weed when I was a kid. I didn't start smoking weed till I got in my 30s. I didn't want to smoke no goddamn weed because my daddy did it. I did it because I started smoking weed because I had a fucking knee surgery and I wasn't going to take them anti-inflammatories. It don't make you change. Be who you are. Let your children see the profound and the profane. Because they seeing profane shit all the fucking time. Every time you turn on a video game, every TV commercial, TikTok, they watching profanity all day. Watch that shit. Now I'll take a few of your phone calls. 323-744-7425. 323. Come on now. There we go. 323-744-7425. See what y'all think. See what y'all think. I don't know the answer is Doechii an industry plant or not. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not saying yes or no. I'm saying pay attention. I'm saying pay attention. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from? Are you hung up? You're bad. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Down there, South Carolina. What's going on, B?
Nothing much, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, but I think some of these people are just some of these people just in it. Like some of these people, they have decent talent, but they're not really that great. I like Doechii's new song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think that she's not a bad rapper, but I think there's an agenda behind it. Like they want her to go in a different direction. People like Prince, when they did their thing, he had his own plan. That's the difference between a Prince today and artists that we have today.
Yeah.
And Rick James and all, they're weird, but they had their own thing. It wasn't, and they had a message to some of their music and things like that. Now it seems like everything's manufactured.
They always stood for us too. They
So when it's manufactured, it's not good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You're right about that, man. But thanks for giving us a call.
All right.
He brought up a good point. He brought up a good point about Prince. And remember Rick James? Rick James is the reason why Michael Jackson, people forget, Rick James is the reason why Michael Jackson got on MTV. He's the reason Michael Jackson and Prince got on MTV, was Rick James. Because Rick James started that fight with MTV. And he came out and said, they're racist. They don't let black artists on. They do not let black artists on. And I don't think it's right. And it was Rick James's fight. So Rick James didn't get the reward for it. They didn't put his music on, but they had to put on Michael Jackson after that and Prince because of the fight that Rick James started with MTV. Even Little Richard. I'm not saying everybody that has an agenda. Like Little Richard. Little Richard knew that having that whole gay aesthetic, that was going to get him industry. That was going to get him play. Like being a non-threatening black man was going to be a longer sustaining career for him than being one that's straight and one of the ladies. He knew he could play that tiddlywink role and play it to get exposure, and he worked it. But you never heard Little Richard pushing the agenda, though. You never heard him telling people to be like him. Or he never said anything bad about straight people. He never said anything bad about women. So it's not saying that everybody that plays this game has an agenda, a negative agenda. That's why I say with Doechii, I'm still watching. And I'm sure her saying that stuff, a lot of that stuff is out of innocence. That's just who she is. Look at this idiot. Don't know who the fuck he talking to. That's a lie. It was Michael and his team that started the fight to get on MTV. No, you fucking dickhead. It was Rick James that started that fight. Did Michael Jackson's team fight to get on MTV? Yes. He fought for himself too, but it was Rick James who took it to MTV first. God damn it, when you're in this classroom, listen, nigga. Rick James took the fight to MTV. I got people calling in, and I'm not even answering. My bad. I got people calling in. My shit ain't ringing. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What up, Dewan? This is Imani, LA.
Imani from LA, what's on your mind?
I came in a little late, so I didn't catch it from the beginning. But from what I did see, I appreciate what you speaking on. Um, I think Doechii rose kind of quick. I don't know if she's a plant or not. I know I discovered her like midway, top of last year. Um, that song "Slide." That's when I first heard about her, and I remember telling like people around me, and I was kind of late to the party. But then after I listened to her, I seen how fast like she seemed like she was on in front of us all the time since then. Since that last release, the Grammy thing that blew her out the water. Her performance on one of them late night shows. She's what I do like. I like how she expresses her art form, especially her live performances. It's something that I feel like we ain't seen in a long time, as far as just her full out expression. I like that she's a dark skinned black woman doing it to the fullest and like putting on in that sense. But I kind of can see, how she could possibly be getting used. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but we just gotta wait and see.
You came in a little late, but you kind of on point. What I was saying, like I 100% believe in her artistry and talent. She is different. She's unique and she's dope. Even though she isn't my personal, I'm not gonna listen to her album too many more times. It's not my thing, but
Bro.
I 100,000 respect the originality and the talent. And oftentimes, plants, people being used, oftentimes, I would say most of the time, don't necessarily know that they're being used for a particular agenda. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying she's coming in here with some malicious intent. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying
I got
is, with
Right.
her background, with her point of view, the industry knows how to pick is the people that they put out. It's like they know how to say, okay, we're going to elevate this one instead of that one. Where it could be two people. One of them was raised in a 2-parent household, and she's a daddy's girl, and she respects her
Right.
mom.
They're not gonna go for it.
And then they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, nah. Oh, this one over here, your dad abused you. Your dad did this. I'm not saying her dad did that. None of that. I don't know her dad's background, but I'm just saying they'll see it. Oh, this your story? You went through this. You went through that. They'll choose the one that went through the bullshit because they know when those interviews come down the line, they gonna say some shit to keep everything sounding corrupt and bullshit. But go ahead, you get the last point. Last word.
Yeah, I just had kind of a 2-pronged question for you. One, at this point in the game, like we realize who's being used, who's being elevated, like it's in plain sight. After we've had so much time to see it occur with so many different people. Same story, just a different character. But my question would be, at this point in the game, is there anything that the music industry still has to offer that's even worth it? Like even worth them signing up, going through that with, streams not really making no revenue and, it's not the same as it was. So I really don't see the ultimate benefits aside from like a Super Bowl performance or some shit like that on that level. And then my second part of that question would be, as an artist and trying to navigate, is it possible to maintain your morals or your kind of what you just said, but realizing that you're gonna hit a ceiling at some point?
Let me answer the second question first. The second question, you most definitely can maintain your morals, but that comes down to how you start. You can't come in, get into the game, and deal with all kind of Doechii activities and decide you're gonna switch up later on. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna happen. You got to come in like, yeah, nah, I'm not going to that party. No, I'm not gonna.
But are you still gonna have a reach? Are you still gonna have a reach to
you can still have a reach because you got to understand this. It's about you making. At the end of the day, you want to make money. You want to get in this industry and make as much money as you can. You can make a lot more money with a cult following with 3,000 people in every city that you go to that want to come see you perform than you can number one on the record, getting number ones and things like that. You can still make a far more. That's why Kendrick has always had more money than Drake, no matter how much Drake have outperformed him on the sales because of the way his contract is structured and the way he makes his money. So, and before you even get to Kendrick, you have other rappers on other levels who are always gonna make a lot of money and do great without ever going to that stuff. Now, if you want Grammys, if it's about Grammys and if it's about Billboard charts, then there's certain compromises that you have to make, and you got to be willing to do that. But you can still have integrity and be a man. But it depends on how far you want to go. You know what I mean? If the fame and the fortune is what means most to you, then yeah, you probably gonna have to compromise some morals. You cannot give a fuck about fame. You got to care about making you got to be on your business. And if you're on your business, I've seen plenty of cats that's on their business who ain't compromised nothing. Now, everybody that I've seen go for the fame, yeah. And what was your first question again?
It was kind of like, is it even worth it at this point? Like in 2025, is it even worth going through this shit? Like in the 90s and the 2000s, it would be worth, getting in the magazines, getting on the billboards, getting the award shows when they really award shows. The landscape of it ain't even, the culture is it even worth it at this point?
That goes back to the second question. It depends on what your agenda is. If your agenda is to be famous and to be recognized, then yeah, you're going to have to go to that industry. If your famous is to be an artist and to make money, you don't necessarily need it. Especially if you have an ecosystem of artists, it's hard. The independent route is very hard. But if you have an ecosystem and you can sell stuff on your own, and you do sell things on your own, you can definitely, you can at that point plug into the system once you build your own thing. And there are some people who sound like, I know some people who are like on the new death row with Snoop and everything, and they getting treated right. You know what I mean? Everybody that you can get on a Hidden Beach, you can get on a Blue Note Records, you can get on some of these places that can give you that middle ground of where you're signed, but they're still going to allow you to be an artist. Those opportunities, although scant, they still exist. But it really comes down to what you want, what level you want it on. If you want to be famous, then yeah, you're going to sign it. But if you want to just make your music and be creative and have complete autonomy, you go have to do it on your own.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like you, bro. We out here in the city, so we be in certain spots. I'm like you. I'll be in certain spots where I get to see certain stuff up close and personal. From my perspective, it's like fame don't hit the same no more as when I remember when I was a kid, early 2000s. So I'll be wondering, like, is this shit even worth it? Because, but I don't want to hog up the clock. I appreciate your time, bro.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
All right.
Yeah, like, it comes down to what you want out of it. Now, if you want fame, but the industry's always gotten people that wanted fame. If you want fame, I'm gonna live forever. Then, that fame come with a price. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from? Ooh, that was a bad connection. Call back. That was digitizing like a motherfucker. Woo! Call back. Oh, fame don't hit the same. Michael Jackson was famous. Nowadays, fame come with a lot. It come with some other shit. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Dana calling from the Valley.
Dana from the Valley. What's on your mind?
What does a red flag, straight male, what does that mean?
Right.
I mean, it's fine that you can be, a bisexual or gay and you don't like heterosexual men. When I saw the clip, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't when you hear that, that's where it sounds like, okay, everything about that statement bleeds agenda. Cause it's like, hold on. You're signed to TDE. Top Dog is a straight man. You're being put out there by Kendrick, a straight man. Your access that you've been given on a worldwide stage has been given to you by straight men. And so my question is, okay, that's a red flag when dating. Is she saying that no man is straight? That she don't believe any man is straight? Is she saying that?
I know. Something came out about her being bi and she's being given the red carpet treatment. I was thinking about it this way. So recently I was talking to this guy and he was, chopping it up, and then he asked for my phone number. So I gave it to him, but he told me so much stuff in this conversation that were red flags that I was like, no, I don't really want to talk to you like that. Like, we cool, whatever, how you doing? Good morning, blah, blah, blah. And he's been texting me and I just kind of been responding, but not talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is it kind of the same thing? Because you could think that's cool and it's kind of funny, but you don't want to get into all that unless you're ready for it, because they're going to call you to say, what is it? Or they're going to press you, like, what's up? So are you saying you're gay or you're a lesbian? Or, like, what are you saying? Because when you put something like that out there, I remember this old Sex and the City episode where one of the girls were tired of dating men or not finding the man that she wanted. And she got into, she played like she was a lesbian and was like, I could do this and everything. And she liked everything that came with it. But when they pressed her, like, what's up? I want to get at you. Let's do this. She was like, well, no, I don't want to like it like that. But you can't take all the fun times and the jewelry and the access, and then when you press, be like, no, I ain't into that.
Yeah. It's like, it's low key weird, Well, it's like, okay, what?
And I know she was on her knuckles 5 years ago, so now I'm wondering, like, are you putting that out there? Because you're going to get pressed, and it's not going to be in a good way.
Yeah, so now for people, like, she talks about, I've heard her talk about, I think from what I know, understand she is a lesbian from what I understand.
Oh, I thought she said she was bi.
Oh, bi
or
to
fluid,
me,
bi or fluid. I don't know. It was
all that's just the same to me.
These kids are something else with all that strange.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, nigga. If you do some same sex bumpty wamping and bumpty bamping, it's all the same thing to me. Whether you come back or not, I don't know, because I'm not getting involved anyway with you at least. You know what I mean? So no, I don't get it. But that's why I'm just saying this is something that we gotta look out for. Like, what's going to happen in 4 years, and if the Democrats get back in office and they control, how is she going to be used at that point? I don't know. We'll see.
Agenda is right. You had it right on the money, and I didn't think of it in the agendized type way. But yeah, those agendas, they only play for so long. They don't play forever.
Right. You're right about that. But thanks for giving us a call.
All right, Duan.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, brother, how you doing? It's different from Illinois, man. I guess you had a bad connection.
Oh, yeah, earlier. That shit sounded like you was doing a robot. But what's on your mind?
Yeah, brother. I'm an independent. Well, I'm finna start being an independent artist. I've been making beats, but I have like a whole lot of songs, and I used to dream about trying to perform and all that myself on stage, being famous, trying to buy my mom and auntie and everybody I love houses and cars. But as the fame, like your first caller, like I think one of the callers said, it's not like how it used to be. It's my uncle and all them. I go to Full Sail's University, and a lot of them feel like I'm wasting my time, but I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. I feel like I'm kind of getting into something different, and I don't know what that is, but I'm trying to.
You say you're trying to what?
Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure that out, but it's just like my main thing is when you were talking about places like Death Row and all that. What's your advice to kind of like, if you do have an opportunity to go to something like that, how would you go about like trying to talk your contract into like how much you make?
Get a lawyer.
Because I know
I don't like giving out too much advice, because I don't want nobody to come at me saying you gave me some bad advice. It's really because it's case by case. You just want to make sure you study up on points and all the different areas you can make money off of, mechanics rights and all that stuff, and then get a good lawyer, and preferably not one that's from out here, and everything, because a lot of
Right.
them hoes, they work with the record label, even if you have one.
Yeah.
Now then look, run shit.
That's what you
Nowadays you can
told me
run your
that
shit through
though.
Chat GPT and run your. You can copy and paste your whole contract in Chat GPT and tell Chat GPT to break that shit down to you in layman's terms. So, that's what I would
Right.
do. But I don't want to get too
Right.
too caught off into that pocket. But that's why, because
Yeah.
I don't want people to come back to me saying, okay, because somebody else might listen and be like, get a lawyer. So
Right.
that's what I say to that. And then look through Chat GPT and see what the industry norms are.
I got one more thing to add too, and plus,
Go ahead.
not only that, like far as with how the entertainment world is, we definitely need a new ecosystem. We need some DJ academics that's actually from the lineage and from the culture, so we can spread out real artists from hip hop to R&B, house music, or whatever genre that we are choosing to push, like Duckworth.
We already have it. You got the company man that's out there. We out there. We just got the artists got to connect with them people. That's all. All the artists got to do is connect with them and stop.
But what platforms they got?
Instead of calling academics and them people, they got to call people like the company man and those kind of people to make sure it happens.
The company
man. But thanks
man.
for giving us a call, my brother.
Sure, the one.
Yes,
Stay
sir.
blessed.
Yeah, we got the network. It's on lines right now. Artists, a lot of y'all artists be listening. Yeah, call Thought Crimes. A lot of y'all artists, I hear through the grapevine. Y'all listen to me. Hit me up. I'm gonna interview. The thing about it is, any of y'all artists out there, I'm gonna interview you right. I'm gonna keep it about the music, and I'm gonna keep it about, and I'm gonna focus in on your creativity and your greatness. But if the artists choose to only deal with white publications and academics, I don't feel bad for you. If y'all allow academics is trolling to get you to call into them, and which you're now giving them clout. If you choose to go to Vlad TV and you choose to deal with these people or these artists, these black artists that podcasts that only talk about top 10 and who's your top 5 and how many record sales you got and who your girlfriend is dating. As long as artists keep reaching out to them, then fuck them. That's the way I see it. There's a lot of us real people out here online that'll give you the real deal and the real thing. And a lot of these guys got big followings too. Do they have the following of an Aiden Ross and those streamers? No. Okay, no, but the artists really can reach out and build it up. What would happen if Kendrick or one of those artists called the company man and did an interview with him and see his channel go from, or Thought Crime, their channel go from 80,000 to 8 million overnight? If you get 3 prominent black artists to go on these other platforms that aren't mainstream, they can change the shit overnight. But they don't want to. They just want to cry and bitch and moan about what it is when they have the power to change it just by giving access. Release, go on Doggy Diamond's Diamond show. Doggy Diamonds conducts great interviews. We have the network out here. We do. We have the network. It's out here. But these artists, I'm going to go with what's popular. I'm going to go with what's already out there. I'm going to go safe. Well, with your safe ass reported on unjustly, don't come crying to us. Yeah, Doggy Diamond is super dope. His channel. He conducts great interviews. You know what I mean? Go interview with Lord Jamar. He has a dope channel. He conducts great interviews. Go interview. Go interview with Professor Griff. Go interview with, it's a lot of people out there. It's a lot of dope channels out there that's not on the bullshit. But the mainstream black artists don't want to get like me. Let me give you guys my issue. Maybe, and now one day I'll hire an assistant to help me out with this. But let me tell y'all something with me. I ain't calling nobody more than twice. I've had some good artists that I've set interviews up with before, and then they'll flake or not, or it'll fall through, or they won't call back. There's so many dope artists out there that I like their music that I've tried to set things up with, and they hit me with the go through my manager, and the manager don't call me back. I ain't calling none of you niggas more than twice. I don't give a fuck who you are. It's people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that I'm pretty sure I could have interviewed that I just kept calling and kept calling. For what? The way y'all getting covered, think about it. The way y'all are artists, to you artists out there listening to me, the way these niggas cover y'all will flop to them for an interview and then play somebody like me to the side, man, fuck you. I don't give a shit. Nigga, this is your legacy, not mine. This is your legacy. My Black American music family tree, this shit's gonna live beyond most of you guys' music, period. I'm talking about how we got here. Either you could be somebody I write into the story when I write my books and do my documentaries or not. I don't care either way. But I'm not gonna sit around and follow some artist around, turn his nose up at me and shit because I only got, okay, fine. Go on the DJ Academics and watch him buddy up with you, and then the minute you make one half step wrong, gonna be calling you anything other than a child of God. Go on the Breakfast Club to when the minute you do anything that's halfway wrong, you're gonna be the donkey of the day. Go on the Hot 96 and Ebro to where he's gonna interview you, but he doesn't know the essence of what makes you great. Ebro can't speak on the cultural lineage and connection that you speak to and amplify. Ebro and these other people out there, they can't speak on the overall impact and how you affect and move the body and the soul of the Black American, which then in turn moves America and the world. They're never going to get to your genius because they're going to stick to how many songs this song, how many albums this song sold. They're going to stick to how many top 10s you got. They're going to stick to how many divorces that you had. They're going to bring up that worst moment in your life, and that's going to be the fucking interview. Go. I ain't kissing nobody's ass for no interview. But at the same time, I would love to interview every artist, every engineer, producer, musician that I can. Because right now, I got an open door access to a lot of these older artists. Like I got a few older artists that are in their 70s and 80s. They telling me everything. People who done work with Elvis, people who done work with Michael Jackson. The fuck I look like chasing some nigga down who only worked with, I ain't gonna say nothing salty. Fuck I look like chasing you down. When I got the complete story for the person that gave you the game. But at the same time, I would love to do it. But I'm just not gonna kiss nobody's ass to do it. Fuck out of here. What's your alternative? Rolling Stone to marginalize you the first chance that they get? You done gave them all of your information. You done gave them a 2-hour long interview only for them to edit it down to 15 minutes of a bunch of bullshit. You done gave them 2 hours of hot fire. They put out 15 minutes of whatever. That's y'all choice. That's why I don't feel bad for these artists when these other publications say crazy shit to them. Y'all give them access, so what? I don't give a fuck. Stop giving them access, they'll stop being relevant. You got a whole host of online people who are going to do you right. They know how to ask the right questions. They know how to follow up on something great that you said. They know how to frame you in a way that's going to make you look good to your audience. So we got the network. We can up in this shit right now. We in 2025. If the top artists decide to come to independent media, this shit will be upended by 2025. by the end of 2025, and those Rolling Stone publications, those mainstream people, they'd have to do right by you artists. Because once the people who are doing it on an independent level do you the right way and put you out there and frame you the right way, the way that showcases your genius and your artistry, and they're not asking you who you like to have sex with, they're not asking you about your proclivities, they're asking about you as the artist, that I make them motherfuckers get in line. But y'all rather talk to Apple instead. Okay. Keep listening to your manager. That same manager that ain't gonna have when your money ain't right. That same manager, when you stop getting those appearances and you haven't had a hit in 5 years, yeah, that same manager is gonna be like, yeah, you know what? It's been good. I have other clients. Yeah, that same manager right there, the one that's telling you don't do this little side show, go do them instead. That motherfucker ain't gonna have shit for you when your shit fall off. But us here on the grassroots, we'll be there. We'll be the ones coming to your concerts when you done fell off, when you ain't had a hit in 7 years. You gotta think about that. What's gonna happen when you ain't had a hit in 7 years? Who can you run to share this empty space? Who can you run to when you need love? Nigga, what? Who can you run to when you need love? When the industry stopped loving you and all you got is the people that was there for you before you got famous, who can you run to? Do you want to hear Escape sing it, or do you want to hear the Jones Girls say better, the Jones Girls or Escape? Either way it goes, you're going to be like, who can I run to? And those of us on the grassroots going to be like, we run into this new nigga coming up who's showing us love on the way up. Sorry. I don't even know where that came from. That wasn't even in my plan to say all that. It wasn't even in my plan to say all that, but it must have come from somewhere. It must be somebody listening. It must be somebody listening that need to hear that. And you ain't got to come to me. You ain't got to tell me I'm right. Just get in contact with grassroots media that's not backed by the bullshit and establish relationships the same way. Think about this before I get out of here. Let's think about this for 1 second. And then I'm gonna let y'all go about y'all day. The reason why Arsenio Hall became the baddest man on the block, Arsenio Hall changed night show forever. Night TV forever. Why? Michael Jackson skipped Johnny Carson, the big establishment, to go to Arsenio. Eddie Murphy will skip Johnny Carson when he was the baddest man on the planet to go to Arsenio. Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Arsenio Hall, when in the late 80s, early 90s, black people controlled our narrative because we had Arsenio Hall. And Arsenio Hall, when he used his fame to when MC Hammer was coming up, he had MC Hammer on his shit. Hip hop did not have a voice, a national voice, until Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall is what gave hip hop a voice. And the Arsenio Hall show. Never fucking forget who Arsenio is. And what in this world that we live in now of black entertainers making it to the top, we gotta thank Arsenio Hall. Arsenio wasn't the biggest name at the time. He was in syndication. He wasn't a national TV show. He wasn't Jay Leno. He wasn't Johnny Carson. He wasn't David Letterman. Those was the men at the time. But because we had some sort of a camaraderie, Tupac and Carl Kanai, when Tupac took that picture, this is how the black economy got built. Let me see. Where's that image? This image right here. When Tupac took this image, Carl Kanai said, when he asked Tupac to model his clothes, Carl Kanai said that Tupac said, yeah, I'm gonna do it because you black. That's the reason why Tupac did this and took this picture. He told Carl Kanai, because you black. And Carl Kanai blew up from there. And they had a symbiotic relationship. When the white media was fucking with black artists, they could always go to Arsenio because the black artists built Arsenio. And they had black artistry had a place that they can go to, a safe haven, somewhere black art can go to explain itself when it got some heat. So hip hop and black artists and black musicians are gonna have to decide. Do you want the clout? And I'm not saying don't go to those channels. Go to them for if you want to get your sales up. But as long as you major black artists are freezing out independent black media, you're never going to build anything that's going to have a voice to you when they come for you. When they come for you. All right? Is Doechii an industry plant? I don't know. Time will tell. I'm not pinning anything on Doechii. I'm just saying we watching. We're most definitely watching. And whether or not you black artists decide to fuck with us on the independent side or not, at the end of the day, we're going to be the ones that write your story. If you're going to get a positive story written about you. Because if you let them write your story, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. All right, my name is Doechii, and remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.